Hi, mentors. My name is Corey Clark, and I'm a manager of internships here at the College for Social Innovation. And I am here to talk to you about how to deal with fellows who are chronically late or absent. And so let me just share my screen so that we can get started. All right. So we have all had days where nothing seems to go our way. Our partner oversleeps, our kids refuse to put on their clothes, the MBTA is running behind. And even as something as simple as a network issue or a power outage can make us late for virtual meetings. We also need to be able to take time off work for sickness, for doctor's appointments, or maybe a well-deserved vacation. All of these situations are completely normal. However, chronic lateness and absences can lead to bigger problems with your fellow's internship performance. And chronic lateness is, I'm defining here as a fellow that's late 2 or more times in a week, or has a pattern of lateness that's happening over several weeks. For chronic absences, I mean absences that are unplanned or unexplained. The red flag really being a lack of communication about the missing time. And fellows who miss a lot of internship time can have problems completing all their components of their special project, completing enough internship hours to receive their Siegel reward, and receive a lower than average internship grade because hours are a component of that as well. So it's really good to address this behavior early and directly. So here are some helpful management strategies. First, right off the bat, document the days that your fellow is late or absent as soon as you notice, and address the behavior as soon as possible. So you can do that verbally or in writing. And one way to start such a conversation would be to write an email saying, I've noticed that you've been late to our virtual one-on-ones 2 weeks in a row. And I'd like to understand what's been happening and talk to you more about this issue during our weekly meeting. Now, this kind of heads up email tells a fellow that you've noticed their behavior and allows them to prepare for the conversation rather than feeling put on the spot in your next meeting. Next, lead with empathy and curiosity if you can. Seek to understand the difficulties from their perspective. And it can be really helpful just to remind yourself in your own head that you can acknowledge your fellow's struggle without condoning their resulting behavior. Ask clarifying questions, again, so you can understand the complete situation. There could be road construction on their bus route that makes their arrival time unpredictable, or they could be experiencing Wi-Fi issues in their apartment, or more difficult wise is they could be dealing with a reoccurring health issue. And questions are always going to help bring these underlying issues to light. Finally, explain the impact that the fellow's behavior is having on you, their project, and their coworkers. Timeliness is a really important professional skill, and you and your team need to be able to depend on your fellow. So, for example, you could say something like, when you're late to a team meeting, I'm unsure whether or not you're going to join us. So lately I've been asking the team to wait for our conversation, and waiting for you these last few weeks has left me feeling very stressed and frustrated. So I'd like us to talk about ways that we can make sure that you log into the virtual meetings on time. You can also communicate that their absences are affecting how much work is being accomplished, and it's falling on you and the team to pick up the slack. And in this case, you could say, last week and you didn't show up in the office on Thursday, I felt really stressed because you wouldn't be able to present your portion of the team presentation. And since you didn't respond to my texts, I asked Laura to cover your slides. And as a result, I felt our presentation was as polished as I hoped it would be. So I'd like to talk about ways for you to communicate in advance when you're going to be out of the office. For fellows who are often late, I recommend being clear about what behavior you'd like to see change and talk about the steps the fellow can take to improve. For example, you could say, going forward, I'd really like you to make sure you're in the office by 9. Let's talk about ways that we can make that happen. And then segue into a conversation about setting reminder alarms, or ask the fellow to regularly check the MBTA app so they're aware of potential delays. Suggest that they build in an extra 15 to 20 minutes in their planned commute time. Explain when you can and cannot be flexible on arrival and login times. Or request that your fellow notify you by text or email as soon as they know they're going to be late, and to communicate in the ETA. Finally, it can be really helpful to just acknowledge when your fellow does have a long commute and how stressful that can be. But the internship is not forever. It's really only 15 weeks, and fellows experience commuting can help them decide whether or not they're willing to commute for future jobs. For fellows who are often absent, you can start by reminding them of the team norms and expectations, such as how should your fellow ask for sick time? How do they request time off for vacation or doctor's appointments? How much notice do you require? For example, you can say, going forward, I'd really like you to give me 2 days notice of any doctor's appointments that you need to attend. You can also discuss options for in-person versus remote work. Like maybe your organization considers the ability to work remotely a privilege. And so you could tell them, from now on, I'd really like you to complete your internship hours in the office. And if you're able to meet this expectation for the next 2 weeks, then we can reevaluate your ability to work remotely. In some cases, fellows' absences make it necessary for them to make up internship hours. And this is because the SITC program requires that the fellow complete 450 internship and class hours in order to get the Siegel Award, and 360 internship hours alone to get full credit for the hours portion of their internship grade. If fellows have fallen behind in their hours, it's a good idea for the mentor, the fellow, and their SITC advisor to meet and talk about a plan for how the fellow can complete the required service hours by the end of the semester. Finally, one special case, like all human beings, fellows can experience life events like serious illness, the loss of a loved one, or a mental health issue that makes it impossible for them to perform their work for an extended period of time. And in these cases, the fellow might need to take a formal leave of absence from the program. And I recommend talking to your SITC advisor if you feel that your fellow might benefit from this option. So there you have it, some advice for how to handle chronic lateness and absence issues. You can find many more support documents and videos on our Mentor Resources webpage. And as always, reach out to your SITC advisor or the whole internships team if you have any questions or need help addressing a specific situation. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch this video. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.